Hello everybody, welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. I'm Sean, and I am a little bit late today. I was trying to make sure that I munched something before I started. I also shouldn't have played Cash Cleaner Simulator as long as I did. I needed a hard out, and I played for an extra 30 minutes because that game is good. For right now, though, we are back in MLB 11, the show. Here on the PlayStation 2. We have 4 games for you. All of them are hand-picked. We have a little bit of a plot line going on between a couple of them. We're going to start with the Pirates and the Braves. The Braves are tied for the one spot in the National League wildcard. Then we're going to go to the Red Sox and the White Sox. The White Sox are tied for the one spot in the AL wildcard. Who are they tied with? Well, in the National League, the Diamondbacks. Actually, the Braves are tied with... You know what? I can show you. How about that? How about instead of just trying to memorize it, I just show you. So the White Sox are tied with the Athletics. If the White Sox win, they would lead. If the Athletics win and the White Sox lose, whatever. In the National League wildcard, the Diamondbacks are back by a game. The Braves are up by a game. I said they were tied, but that was incorrect. I apologize. If the Braves lose and the Diamondbacks win, they can tie for it. And then the Marlins are kind of lurking as well. So some interesting stuff going on wildcard-wise. A lot of some of the division races aren't super exciting, which is unfortunate. That's just how it goes. Well, let's jump into our first game today and stop listening to me talk. Mariners lead by 2 games over the Athletics, so the Athletics looking for that wild card spot at the moment. Mariners in a good position if they were to stumble to pick it up. But you can't rely on that considering that the White Sox have been playing very well. They've been playing so well. They've gotten over Cleveland. Royals are kind of... They're not that far behind the Royals either. I really should have... I was like, I'll take notes. And then I thought, nah, you'll remember it. No, you won't. No, you won't. You made pizza. Pittsburgh Pirates are 41-29. The Atlanta Braves are 39-31. Currently in the lone wild card spot. It makes this game kind of interesting. It makes the Diamondbacks game kind of depend on this game if it's interesting or not. The Diamondbacks have not done a very good job all season long at taking advantage of a team in front of them's mistakes. Colorado was a thing for them for a while, and now you would have Atlanta. They would have to try and usurp. Nick Markakis is the right fielder. He will lead off for the Pittsburgh Pirates, followed by Ivan Rodriguez at first. Robinson Canoes at second. Jose Bautista at third. Seth Smith in the DH spot. Alfonso Soriano in left. Miguel Olivo is the catcher. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick is the center fielder. And Ryan Theriot is the shortstop. I made sure that this was not a Kuroda game because I did not want to watch that. I double, triple checked. Brandon Webb is 9-4 with a 3.54 ERA. 14 games, 40.2 innings pitched, 32, 14, 31 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Hello, I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Smack that into the garbage can. Nick Markakis. He has a 3.09 average. He's leading off here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. As we look to get underway with another day of baseball here on the channel, the wind and the pitch inside for a ball. I want to double check. I think the number is right, but I can never remember. It is. Perfect. So we're underway here in Atlanta. Pitch number 2 was fouled away by Markakis. 1-1. I like the way this pitcher goes. He's the opposite of Kuroda. That pitch is inside. Batter doesn't agree with it. I would argue that was my game. I'll be the show 20. MLB the show 20. That's inside for a ball. So 2-2, albeit a little bit funkily. I played good chunks of MLB The Show 17 and 20 before playing every 21 through 25 for an entire season and making that as content for the channel. I've never really spent a whole lot of time with anything PS3 or before. That is fouled away. And swung on and missed. Went up in the zone. Good ride through it. Markakis still probably upset with that strike 2 call. Goes down swinging right at the top of the zone. 92 miles an hour on a running fastball. 3 inches of break. And out number 1. Ivan Rodriguez batting .367. And Rodriguez, 1 pitch, 1 swing, and that's a foul ball just outside the first base side. So 0-1. This Pirates team at times has been pretty explosive offensively. At times they haven't looked great. They're one of the more, I guess, I mean, when you, they had the 14 run game, so that really makes the curve that they're graded on pretty extreme. The wind and the pitch, inside for a ball. If we get Atlanta in the playoffs, we will have to watch Kuroda pitch, most likely, but it's less of a concern considering that there are, I don't believe there are any days with 4 games. 2-1. That's low for a ball. 3-1. So the pitcher Webb hasn't looked great. He got a very generous call in that first at-bat. Struggling here against Rodriguez. And hey, a good eye. You love to see it. The batters love a 3-1 count. They love swinging in that count. Robinson Cano leads the NL in hitting. That popped in kind of late. 426 average. My goodness. Ooh, Cano off the end of the bat drives it foul. We have seen Robinson Cano in this game, this season, punish some pitches. The wind and the pitch is hit to the second baseman. Feel like I jinxed him a little bit. Steps on second for 1, over to first for 2, and that is a double play to take care of the inning. Pittsburgh comes up with nothing despite the walk. We'll get you introduced to the Atlanta Braves offense here in just a moment. Here it is. Danny Worth, the shortstop, will lead things off for Atlanta. Howie Kendrick at second. Josh Hamilton in left. Andrew Jones in center. Trent Olchen? I am not sure on that. I don't think I've seen that name. AJ Przinsky is the catcher. Ross Galode, he's happy to be here in the DH spot. Mark Tian at third, and Gabby Sanchez is at first. Welcome on in, everybody. If you're enjoying the content, if you want more, subscribe, ring the bell. We got a big month of March coming up with MLB The Show 26 releasing, and starting February 27th, March Mascot Madness 6. Matt Latos is 8-6 with a 2.77 ERA, 14 games, 39 innings pitched, 36, 14, 39 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Defensive lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Danny Worth leading off, batting .211. Zeros across the board. That is hit well out towards right field, but driven foul. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and a foul ball. We do see that pretty frequently. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is lifted out towards the center field, and it is crispy young, crispy quick out there. Making a nice running catch. I bet Pittsburgh Pirates fans would be happy to see that kind of effort in center field this season. wind and the pitch is hit up the third base line. Hit so hard it broke the frames. 0-1. Who? It's not. That's rolled over to the second baseman. Fires to first in time for out number 2. And we are kind of quickly burning through these at-bats. Josh Hamilton leads the NL in home runs with 17. That's a number I believe. Two gone here in the bottom of the first. Hamilton. Ooh, it's a strike called against him. I thought that was a ball. So, I'm a little surprised for that to be an 0-1 count. Two gone here. That is lifted out in the gap. That is a beautiful hit. Hits off the Y. And that'll be a stand-up, 2-out double for Hamilton. Putting a great swing on the ball there to bring up Andrew Jones. 279 hitter. A runner in scoring position. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that is lifted. Got under it. Oh, he's going to want that pitch back. Looked like he left it in a pretty hittable location. Right fielder comes up with the ball. It's Markakis out there. Atlanta gets one hit with 2 outs, but can't do anything with it. Batista, Smith, and Soriano. The 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Pirates. Friday, by the way, we'll jump back into MLB The Show 25 at least one more time for a look at the Mariners roster, and then we'll probably watch that spring training game. First pitch, I think, is at 12:40, so probably start about 11 a.m. on Friday with a stream. And then we'll jump into some MLB 11 after at 6 p.m. Because that's right, 5 days away. Well, 4. Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, 4. 4 days away from baseball. Ooh, that was a dangerous pitch. I'm wondering if Webb's going to get bit on that later in the game, because it dove down just enough to get him to roll over it, but if he leaves that pitch up and it does not dive, uh-oh. The wind and the pitch is in and swung on and missed by Batista. 93 miles an hour on that running fastball. Second time they've highlighted that pitch. Swing timing very late on that one. Seth Smith, 5 home runs, 22 RBI, and a 377 average. I think you'd like those numbers if you're... Specifically, I think you really like the RBI. The righty winds and fires. That one stays outside. Good average and good RBI. I think you would take that. I bet Batista would like that as well, because it means that if he gets on, there's a good chance that he can get over or maybe even around a score. Swung on and missed. Doubled up on the outside pitch. Got him to go on the second one. 1-1. One and one with 1 out. Winds and fires. Gets the strike on the high inside corner. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Set down on strikes. So Batista down on strikes, and he is down on strikes as well. So that average doesn't help him there. Back-to-back good guys with guys with good averages and high RBI numbers. It's a good little 4, 5, 6 line to hit. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is a strike on the inside corner. We did see a funky call in that similar area in the top of the first. So it looks like maybe that spot will be open for the pitchers throughout the day. It'll be interesting to see if it's not just this game or if it's the whole the whole batch of games that we have today. Catcher can't get that one. Doesn't matter. Pitch was in the dirt. Nobody's on. 1-1. Webb winds and fires, and it is upstairs for a ball. I would warn against the overrated chance. Chanted overrated at Vladimir Guerrero, and then he hit a solo home run that won the game for the Athletics over the Mariners. Soriano. Second pitch that's missed the catcher. 3-1 now. Soriano, how aggressive is he going to be? Pretty aggressive. He'll put that one into the glove of the right fielder. Nice tumbling dive. Tumbling grab, I should say. And that will do it. A couple of strikeouts and a flyout. We're heading to the home half of the second. In Atlanta. Trent. Ooh. Oltgen. Okay, so it is it's a harder J than I was anticipating. At least, I mean, they might have pronounced it wrong on the PA system. Sometimes you get a J in there that's like kind of it's pretty soft. It's just more of a je. Je is a good example. Rather than like jigsaw. Oltgen. Looking at a 1-1 count here from Latos. He fires a little curveball that doesn't quite get down. 5. Ooh, he's going for second. Does he have the speed to get there? He does. Safe is the call from the umpire. Just kind of dumped it into left field. Got just enough, and that'll give A.J. Przinsky an opportunity to drive in the go-ahead run in the bottom of the second. In a game that we are kind of breezing through. These teams are playing aggressively. Runner on second, nobody out. Przinsky's going to roll that to the shortstop who bobbles it. He's in time to first for the out. I thought they might go to second. The runner at second just stood there the whole time. It literally wasn't until the shortstop threw the ball, like kicked into that animation, that it was like, oh, I got to get back on base. Ross Glode steps up to bat. One away with that runner in scoring position. Glode takes a strike on the inside, 0-1. I think you'd take that. You'd take the lead runner out in scoring position rather than the runner at first. Just barely got him at first. That is a strike called. Kind of a surprising... I don't know, that inside... Lately it's been the right-hand batter side of the box that's been a little wide. Today it's the left-hand side. Umpire's changing it up a little bit. One and two. That is foul, first base side. Hello. I hope you enjoy your gaming. Here comes the 1-2. It is. Ooh, Glode takes strike 3. Atlanta. They get the no out, the leadoff double. Just took a look at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It wasn't really that close to being questionable. I don't know why you're taking in that situation. We'll be up to Mark Tien to work some 2-out magic here. And gets a strike on the outside. Nice pitch. Good location. That'll be strike number 1. 0-1 with 2 outs. And Atlanta can't do anything with the leadoff double. Drove it into the ground to second base. In time to first. Pittsburgh still hitless. Olivo, Young, and Terrio coming up. Miguel Olivo, go Mariners. See what he can do here for the Pirates. No scores. We head to the top of the third. Oh, man. It seems like they really want to tee off on that curveball. They just can't quite get to it. He's throwing it just well enough. Got him to drive that one sky high. Bring up Crispy Young, Crispy Quick. With one out. That was a one pitch, one swing, one out. Bad start to the top of the third. There's that big curve. One and out. The wind and the pitch. It is inside for a ball. 1-1. Oh, 2-0. Excuse me. I don't know why I called that wrong. Just absolutely wrong on that one. 2-0. There's a strike on the outside to make it 2-1. Webb is ready to fire the 2-1. Well outside for a ball. 3-1. Where things get interesting for the hitter. He hasn't really thrown anything for you to hit. He does have the strike on the outside, but everything else has been a ball. And even that strike was going to be tough to get to. How aggressive do you want to be on a 3-1? Ooh, got him. He got him. This pitcher, he's throwing just well enough. I keep waiting for it to be like, oh, here's the mistake pitch. But it is not happening. 2 gone. That brings up Ryan Terrio. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is going to be rolled over to the third base side. So a couple of one pitch, one swing, one outs there. The first and the third out for the Pirates. Young put up a little bit of a fight, but not a whole lot going on. Sanchez, Worth, and Kendrick coming up. Atlanta with a chance to walk it off here in the home half of the third. That pitch just gets over that inside corner for a strike. 0-1. And that is lifted into right field. It seemed like the right fielder was in a little bit of slow motion out there. Hey, this PS2 game kind of broken. You might not know it, but they're relying on Danny Worth. It's an interesting leadoff batter that they have. Not a great average. Doesn't have any home runs or RBIs. Stolen bases, not the biggest worry in the world, but of course, batting top of the lineup can be difficult to get those RBIs up, with it only being 3-inning games. That pitch stayed upstairs, 1-0. The wind. Oh, he went for it. That was probably going to be ball 2 unless it just happened to drop and clip that top of the zone. 1-1. And that one's fouled away. One and 2. Ooh, he left it over the plate, and that is an out. That was a weird-looking play on the outfield. It's gone to Markakis twice now out there. And both of them have given him some weird animations. It's not exactly Markakis' fault. This game is just a little weird, but Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside for Kendrick. 1-0. And that stays high. 2-0. And that's in for a strike. It's that low inside corner. 2-1. See what Kendrick can do here. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the third. That is to third base. There's to second for 1, to first for 2. The double play sends us to extras, which isn't as big of a concern. Atlanta's piled up 3 hits, but they have not done anything with them. I don't know that they've even advanced the runners. Nick Markakis 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 307 average on the season. Does have 3 home runs. These teams have been kind of burning through their outs. This game's been a little on the quicker side. Webb winds and fires. That's going to be lifted just past the shortstop. I thought he had it, but it's going to roll all the way to the wall for a double. So a good start for Pittsburgh, who pick up their first hit here in the top of the fourth. That's inside for a strike. Oh, 1. Go ahead run in scoring position. And go ahead run's gonna the lead runner's gonna go ahead and score. That is an RBI single. Pirates 1, Braves nothing. You'd like to see an insurance run here for Pittsburgh. As Rodriguez? Ivan Rodriguez knocks in the run. Robinson Cano steps up, 1 on, nobody out. The righty winds and fires. Oh, that was a dangerous location. Cano must have been looking a little more inside. Got that off the end of the bat to drive it foul. 0-1. The wind and the pitch is driven foul. Up the first base side, 0-2. That one is lifted into right field. Cano very aggressive during that at-bat. Swung at everything that was thrown his way. Lease out number 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is rolled over. Shortstop comes up with it. Fires to second for 1. Over to first for number 2. That'll take care of the inning, but not before Pittsburgh picks up a couple of hits and knocks in the run. 1-0. It'll be up to Hamilton, Jones, and Oltgen to try and tie or win this with a walk-off. I mean, Hamilton would be the guy you'd want. 17 home runs with a .333 average this season. He's already 1 for 1 with a double. The wind and the pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-0. And that's going to be rolled over to first. Actually, it was hit pretty solidly. It's a nice play at the hot corner, or a hot corner. And that will be an out. Andrew Jones is 0 for 1 today. Nobody on and 1 out. This is a good opportunity for the Diamondbacks, who we will watch play the Dodgers later today. Should the score hold, I don't want to jinx anything, though I might just have jinxed something. The wind and the pitch from Latos is lifted into left field. Is that going to stay? It will. The ballpark just holds it. It will be a double. They throw it in to try to make the play, but it wasn't going to happen. Okay, Andrew Jones puts himself in scoring position. It's the 4th hit of the evening for the Braves. They haven't done anything with the first 3. Can they do something here late? Trent Oltgen. His average looks good, but I don't think it's a very big sample size. Oh, it's going to go into left. Do they send him around? No, it'll be runners at the corners. Double play can end this game in favor of the Pirates. A.J. Przinsky. Looks like something's humming. That is going to be lifted. Ooh, is it going to be center fielder? Crispy Young, Crispy Quick. Nobody's tagging up. And it's a good thing. That was a bullet to home and dead on. Ross Galode. Last chance for the Braves here in the home half of the 4th. The wind and the pitch is upstairs for a ball. The righty is ready. Winds, fires, and that is lifted out towards center field. Young has a beat on it, and that will do it. 1-0 is your score. Pittsburgh picks up the lone run in the top of the 4th. And the Braves get close but cannot respond. The tying run a mere 90 feet away. Okay, so that sets up the Diamondbacks to do something later. They can make it a 2-way tie for the NL wildcard spot. The Marlins aren't out of it either, which I thought was interesting considering how poorly they've been playing, but it doesn't help. It helps them when the Braves play a game like this. Matt Latos is your player of the game. 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 strikeout on the day. He gets the win to improve to 9-6. Brandon Webb falls to 9-5. No home runs, no save opportunities in this one. Pirates only get 2 hits, but that's all they need to score the 1. 1-0. That is game number 1. Even though that went 2 extra innings, it wasn't terribly long. A couple other 1-0 scores to get you caught up on. Cardinals over the Reds and the Tigers over the Blue Jays. A couple of home teams with 1-run victories. Let's head down to the White Sox and the Red Sox. White Sox, and the Athletics are tied for the 1 spot, or for the lone wild card spot. I keep saying 1 like they have 2. It's just the 1. Jump right into the division. Then it's the championship, and then it's the World Series. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you'd like more. If you would like more. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, with more MLB 11 the show. The Red Sox are 2 games under 500 at 34-36. The White Sox are 37-32. An opportunity for them to maybe be in first place. I mean, they have to win and the Athletics have to lose. The Athletics are playing the Royals later. Drew Stubbs, the center fielder, will lead things off for the Red Sox, followed by first baseman Justin Smoke. Jason Hayward is in right. Carlos Lee is in left. Adrian Beltre at third. Johnny Peralta is the DH. Blake DeWitt at second. Benji Molina is behind the dish. And Jason Bartlett, the shortstop, rounds things out. Starting pitcher for the White Sox tonight is Joe Blanton, 3-9 with a 6.32 ERA, 12 games, 31.1 innings pitched, 44, 7 and 18 hits, walks, and strikeouts. A lot of hits given up, not walking a ton of people. 18 strikeouts could be a concern as we work our way through this one. I don't think you can look at that ERA or the record or anything and get too excited if you're the Red Sox. But we'll see what they can do here. So we welcome you to Chicago for game number 2. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is lifted, driven towards the foul territory and out of play. Up the first base side. 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is driven into the ground. Right to the shortstop, who picks it up, fires in time for the out. It is. And there is, just like that, there is one gone. Justin Smoke, 310 average, 3 home runs, 12 RBI, 4 stolen bases. Smoke, 1 pitch, 1 swing, and the center fielder makes it 1 out. So a very quick couple of outs here for Boston. Some of these teams have to get to Cabo or wherever they're going for their vacation. The Red Sox aren't that far out of it, only a couple of games below 500. Though this does work well for the White Sox. Perhaps, he doesn't have a very good ERA. It's like it's way up there. He's given up a ton of hits. Maybe that baits Boston into being a little more aggressive, swinging the bat. Here comes the 1-0. It is outside for a ball. Here's the righty, winds and fires, gets the strike at the knees. Here comes the 2-1. Outside for a ball. Okay, a nice patient at bat here. He's seen more pitches than the previous 2 hitters combined. A whopping 4. I think the other 2 saw 3 total. Wind of the pitch. Ooh, that got the high outside corner. I was a little surprised. Thought it missed the zone a little tall, but umpire gives him the strike. Creates full count. And here comes a payoff pitch. 2 gone here in the top of the first. The righty is ready, and he fires. It's rolled over to the first base side. Underhand toss to the pitcher. Catching and, or covering. And that will be out number 3. Nothing doing for the Red Sox in this one. We'll switch over to the White Sox as we head to the home half. B.J. Upton is in center field. Maglio Ordonez in right. Followed by Albert Pujols at first, Manny Ramirez in left, Ryan Rayburn is the DH. Scott Rowland at third base. Yorvet Torrealba in the catching position. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez at second, and Jed Lowry is the shortstop. Chicago, they have made quite a run to try to get into the playoffs. It does. The factor of the trade that they made with the St. Louis Cardinals for Manny Ramirez seems to be paying off for them. Kevin Billwood 6-8 with a 5.13 ERA, 14 games and 40 innings pitched, 60, 20, and 29 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Here's your Boston Red Sox defensive lineup. B.J. Upton, 374, 5 home runs, 12 RBI, 12 stolen bases. Shakes his head in approval. And here's the wind and the pitch. It is lifted. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out to the first baseman. Okay. Both these teams aggressive early. We saw that in the last game as well. See what Ordonez can do here. Probably doesn't get a whole lot of information off just 1 pitch. That one misses low for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 wound in, fired right to the third baseman. And 3 pitches total between the 2 batters results in 2 outs. Albert Pujols led the National League in home runs. It wasn't with 9, though. He does have 9 this season. What can Pujols do? It feels like neither team wants to be here. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is hit out towards right field. Right fielder makes the stop, so it's just a single, but finally someone on base. It's a 1-pitch, 1-swing single. Manny Ramirez is up next. What's going on? Walk-off. That is in for a strike. How was your cash watching simulator? It was good. We're about to introduce Euros into the equation, so that'll be interesting. Here's the 0-1. That is foul at the first base side. Hope the rest of your day at work was good. Thanks for popping in. 0-2. Runner on first with 2 outs. Ramirez swings at that one and drives it foul, or pulls it foul. So he will stay alive. The wind and the pitch, and that is a lifted first base side. That should be out number 3. It is. And that will do it for inning number 1. 1 hit for the White Sox. Can't do anything with it. Both teams going through their 3 outs very quickly, though. Lee, Beltre, and Peralta coming up for the Red Sox. That is hit foul, first base side. Oh, and 1 here as we start the top of the second. That's inside for a ball. One of these teams needs to slow down more consistently with their at-bats. See some pitches, see if you can get them to make a mistake. Neither pitcher has a very good ERA. They're both giving up hits. Means they're bound to make a mistake somewhere. Working dog kennels at a humane society. I love dogs a lot. Every day is heartbreaking. Struggle to see them not in homes. Yeah, it sucks. That one is lifted out to right field. And the right fielder makes the grab. Adrian Beltre. 236 average, 1 home run, 6 RBI, 4 stolen bases for Beltre. That cannot be easy. Foul away. And that is lifted out to right field. It'll stay fair. Dropping down, he's going to hit first and hard charge for second to throw in. Not in time. Safe on the slide. We'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Batting only 130. And he's working with a runner in scoring position, so hopefully he can come up with something. Get this game going a little bit. So far we've just seen a bunch of 1-0 final scores. I'm sure there was somebody else had to score at some point. The wind and the pitch outside for a ball. Two and up. That is lifted. Splits the infielders. It'll just advance the runner to third. So runners on the corners. Good decision to hold because obviously it wasn't super deep into left field. The throw was up the line in kind of a positive direction. And we've seen how aggressive these defenses can be. Just as far as like getting the ball and just kind of diving. So first pitch is low. Boston's doing just enough to slow down their at-bats. The White Sox can get a double play and get out of this. That's not going to be what that is. That is a no-doubt 3-run home run. And it'll be Benji Molina. It's like I jinxed it before I even finished the sentence. 4 home runs, 9 RBI for Molina. Boston now leads 3-0 with just 1 out here in the top of the second. That one's upstairs. They figured something out against this Red Sox pitcher. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's inside for a ball. Two and oh. That is on the outside edge. Gets the strike call. Strike called. 2-1. The wind and the pitch. It is in for a strike. That is rolled over foul. Benji Molina, he was a giant at one point in his career. An extremely slow human, even for a catcher. That is lifted out towards center field. Has a bead on it, waits for it to drop, and that is an out. So a nice job to bounce back. Pick up out number 2 after giving up the 3-run home run. That goes out to Upton in center. Jason Bartlett leads the AL in hitting at .408. The wind and the pitch, and that is lifted out towards right. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and that is out number 3. Boston scores 3, and we are headed to the home half. Red Sox lead 3-0. Ryan Rayburn, batting .366, has a couple of home runs, 12 RBI. See if he can do anything to get this White Sox offense jump-started here, and a response ending in the bottom half of the second. Red Sox seemed like they discussed something and figured something out about the White Sox starting pitcher. Okay. Crowd called for him to swing away. He did and fouled it off. 1-1. That is in for a strike. Just gets that outside edge. That left side, left-handed batter's box has been a little on the wide side today. Seen some funky calls out there. 1-2. That is hit but foul. It's a foul ball. That's a little early on the call. My bad. I apologize to the umpire. Here comes the 1-2. That stays upstairs. Two and two. That is lifted, driven deep, and it is... Oh, it's so close. Just foul. Thought it might have had the distance, but it seemed like it kind of died out there. 2-2. And he'll lift this one into right field, so hey, at least does a good job to come back with a hit. Other hit probably would have made a double, but I think he'll take a single. Some of the more frustrating at-bats when I'm playing or when we get good contact on it and cannot follow it up. Like good contact on a foul ball that we then like strike out on the next pitch or roll over one. So for him to be able to, hey, slice one foul, no big deal. Come back, lift it into right. Give the man a chance. 1 on, nobody out. That is inside for a ball. That is foul. One and one. Ooh, he's going to want that pitch back. That looked awful from our angle. My goodness, he left that in way too hittable a location. And hey, they were able to do it again. The White Sox are going to be aggressive on the base paths. The throw from center, not in time. It looked good, but I'm going to guess that animation, the animation bit the Red Sox defender because they just kind of hold it for a second before they drop down. If there's more fluidity to the game, you probably have an out at third. Chicago rewarded for their aggressiveness. 2 on, nobody out. They'll check on the runner at first. He is safe. That is way upstairs for a ball. That is in for a strike. Got him at the knees. Why does it sound like they're chanting for the Red Sox? It literally sounds like they're going, "Let's go Red Sox." Could you imagine if the game was that broken? That the cheers were incorrect? And that's going to be hit. You should not have even thought about going. I know you ended up with a double play. To second for 1 and to first for 2. He looked like he thought about going home. There was no reason. Just take the 2 outs. That's an easy double play. There is no reason you should even be thinking about going home. They're going to score 1 run. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez coming up. The double play erases the runners on board, but the White Sox do score a run to cut it to 3-1. 1-0. Wind and the pitch outside for a ball. 2-0. Wind and the pitch. That is hit up the middle. That'll be a single. A little 2-out damage for a man who spells his name correctly. You love to see it. Jed Lowry, batting .329. That is lifted out towards center, not nearly deep enough. And that will do it. The White Sox cut into the lead just a little bit. Stubbs, Smoke, and Hayward coming up. Oh, Stubbs the zombie. Oh, I could have been making that reference. There's a game nobody remembers, but they re-released it for some reason. Drew Stubbs, 0 for 1. One of the more unique soundtracks in gaming, as I look for it. It's a Xbox exclusive game, I believe, built on the Halo engine. See what we get. Yeah, Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse. $20. That's not terrible. Feels like about what that game should be. I remember looking for it because I was like, oh, I never played it. That'd be kind of fun. I should check out and see how much a copy of the physical version would be for Xbox. It was like $60. I was like, oh, no thank you. I know we're not Mr. Smart Financial Decision over here, but like, good God, that's... Whew. Justin Smoke stepping up and takes the ball inside, 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is in for a strike. Oh, there it is. Oh, that was a bad pitch and felt like he was going to get bit by that at some point. They stand up double. Kind of the last thing that it's the last thing that the White Sox defense needs. It took them so much effort to get one run on the board. So 1 on, 1 out here for Boston. Jason Hayward steps up. Looking to do a little more damage, put an insurance run on the board, or I guess just regain that 3-run lead. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is lifted into left field. Runner should head back to second. At any point now, they'll go ahead and do that. It's weird how delayed we've seen those runners be to getting back to their base. It's like this game can only make one decision at a time. That'll be hit toward the shortstop. Stands and fires strongly and accurately to first base for the outs. All right, well, there you go. Nice and easy for the White Sox. They give up the double, but it doesn't matter. We'll see the top of the lineup for the White Sox here in the home half of the third, looking to keep this game going or get themselves a walk-off win. The White Sox lose and the Oakland Athletics beat the Royals. They will be one game back of the AL wildcard. Unfortunately, I don't think those two teams play each other, but who knows? Maybe they do. The wind and the pitch is outside for a ball. Ball one. Makes it 1-0. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out tonight. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to hit the video with a like if you're enjoying it. Subscribe if you're new. As Upton hits to the shortstop, fires off the back foot, falling away. That was quite the throw, but he's able to get there on a hop. Maglio Ordonez batting .256 this season, 5 home runs. You got to get one on before you need that bloop in the blast. Or I guess you could do what the Red Sox did, do for the 3-run blast. One and oh, low for a ball, 2-0. The wind of the pitch is low for a ball. Good take by Ordonez. 3-0. It's got to be hands-off controller here. You cannot give them an easy out. And that's what he does. That was pretty low. I mean, that wasn't the most, obvious. It wasn't the automatic strike, right? That was closer on the edge than you might anticipate. It's 3-1 now. And Ordonez puts a good swing on the 3-1, but drives it foul. Pitcher wasn't in a great spot there. Here's the righties winding and fires. Foul up the third base line. Oh, that's going to get rolled to the second baseman in time. Wasn't sure that he was going to be able to get there, but the ball was not hit well. Got to pass the pitcher, which is kind of a break for the White Sox, honestly, with some of the really funky animations where it goes like, oh no, the pitcher's going to field this ball. And you're like, what? That one? That's the ball they're going to field? So Pujols, he has to try and keep it alive here, but he's not going to do it. That will fall into the glove of the Red Sox right fielder, and we are all done here. Boston 3, Chicago 1. And now Chicago will wait to see what Oakland does later tonight. That'll see how, and then we will see how that sets up the continuation of this season. That's a very broken and bad way to phrase any and all of that. Blake DeWitt, your player of the game, 1-for-1 with a 3-run home run. His first of the season. Kevin Billwood gets the win to improve to 7-8. Joe Blanton falls to 3-10. Yikes. That is what I was worried about. When we saw those stats, when you see that ERA, when you see that record, you go, this is not the guy to have on the mound in this situation. There's still time left. There's still a couple of weeks. They're not obviously out of it. They're a half game back now. They'll at most be 1 game back. At worst, it'll be just a tie. But you want to control your own destiny. Let's take a look at the Athletics. They get Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Minnesota. Okay. Oops. Let's jump into catching up on scores. Hey, another 1-0 game. Marlins over the Astros. Marlins not out of it. They've been bad, but they're not out of it. Finally, a game where both teams score. Phillies over the Rockies 5-3. And then we had our 3-1 Red Sox White Sox game. We will slide down just a little bit further to the Dodgers taking on the Diamondbacks. You can see, oh, thank you. Thank you, game, for giving us the wild card standings. You can see the Diamondbacks half a game back. They're with the Braves and the Rockies. So they can actually tie. No. Oh, they could, they'd pick up win number 39. But they would have the lead. Oh, man, what a! I didn't realize how close it was. The Marlins are half game back as well. Oh, it's getting tied to the National League. There's the American League side there. Cleveland's not out of it. Oh, there was the Boston Red Sox also technically aren't out of it yet either, which is weird. They have an opportunity, especially because the White Sox are in front of them, to drag them back, but we'll see what happens there. Dodgers are 33-37. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 38-32. NL West matchup here in the desert. Let's get you set up with the Dodgers lineup. It's 3-inning legend Juan Pierre leading things off, the designated hitter. Then it will be Carlos Beltran. It'll be Juan Pierre again just for fun. No, it'll be Carlos Beltran in center. Ryan Braun in left. Adam Dunn at first. Michael Stanton, better known as Giancarlo Stanton. He is in right field. Ryan Domit. The catcher, Wilson Betemit at third. Jason Donald at second. Cliff Pennington, the shortstop. And that is your very messily red lineup. Kelvin Escobar is 3-2 with a 2.60 ERA. 5 games, 17.1 innings pitched, 14, 8, and 18 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Arizona Diamondbacks defense looks like that. Juan Pierre is batting .333. He doesn't have any home runs, but who cares? When you're knocking in 9 and stealing 11 bases, that's what you want out of your leadoff hitter. Doesn't have to go yard. Just get on so we can try and get you over, get you around. And it'll be 1 pitch, 1 swing, and 1 single for Pierre. Do they put him in motion? This is a great opportunity for the Diamondbacks. A Diamondbacks team that we have seen several times throughout this season have an opportunity, as we have an injury here to Jones. I was going to point out, and not in a rude way, he was in a really weird position, playing shockingly close to the bag. They were, playing for the bunt. Oh, Cesar Estruas. Ooh, okay. Carlos Beltran's batting .230. Fires over to first. Pierre's one of the guys that makes sense to check on him, but we never get anything interesting like a rundown or anything, which is unfortunate, because that would at least make it a little more fun. Beltran drives that foul.
That ball's foul.
0-1. They do put him in motion. That's going to avoid the double play. The throw to first is in time, so 1 out, but they put a runner in scoring position. Beltran at least a productive out. And I think with the fact that they put Pierre in motion, it almost pulled the defender completely out of the... It almost pulled him out of the play. The Diamondbacks team has had opportunities to take first place in the National League West. Now they have an opportunity to tie things up in the National League wild card race. All of a sudden, it's kind of 4 teams jumbled there. Swung on and missed. Dodgers look kind of just looking to play spoiler. Ruin their rivals' hopes, division rivals' hopes of making the postseason. Dodgers were one of the teams that really just never got it going. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is high and inside. The 1-2. When it gets him on the outside edge. Like I've been saying, that left-hand batter's box Been a little funky in spots today. Ryan Braun takes strike 3, and it'll be out number 2. Pierre still in scoring position, but not really what you're looking for. I mean, not even a productive out. At least with the first out of the inning, it's you move him to second. Adam Dunn's batting with 2 outs and a runner on second. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. That is a hit to the first base side. Dunn not going to be able to make it before the throw is there. The pitcher covering. And that'll do it for the top half of the first. 1 hit for the Dodgers, but nothing doing. Let's get you introduced to the Arizona Diamondbacks lineup. It is David DeJesus, the right fielder, followed by Cesar Istruis at third base. Joey Votto's at first. Jason Bay is in left. Curtis Granderson is the center fielder. Matt Wieters, the DH. Brian Pena, the catcher. Freddie Sanchez at second base. And Jamie Carroll is the shortstop. John Maine, 5-8 with a 6.32 ERA, 14 games, 37 innings, 50 hits, 19 walks, 27 strikeouts on the season. As we take a look at your Los Angeles Dodgers defensive lineup. David DeJesus, batting .265, a home run, 8 RBI, 2 stolen bases. The righty gets ready, winds, fires, and that is a strike on the inside edge. 0-1. And on paper, the Giants should have a good offense this year. Arise Chapman, that is drilled foul. Devers, Jung-Hoo Lee, Ramos. Why do I feel like we won't live up to on-paper hopes? Yeah, it just like, do you believe that everything's going to gel the way that people think it will, you know? Because someone's going to be hot and somebody's going to be cold, and it's like, can't everyone just be lukewarm together? Because I'm thinking about the Giants too. Feel like they should be fun to watch. Competitive, interesting, and then you're just like, yeah, but does it click? Fouled away. That's fouled away as well. Foul ball. Sorry, foul ball. It's early on though. Plus, a lot of the teams that I like have kind of that same thing of like, man, this team could be exciting. They have X, Y, and Z, all these players, and you're just watching, you're like, it just didn't work. It just didn't come together. So I understand your hesitancy. I hope you were pleasantly surprised, though. Swung on and missed. He'll be set down on strikes, and we will take a look at the swing track. Very late on a four-seam fastball at 92. Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, our pitching staff should be decent-ish this year on paper. Joey Votto, right? Is that who was up? The wind at the pitch, it is indeed Joey Votto. I was like, what if it was Joey Bardo, you know, and you called him wrong? You said the wrong name. Don't need help saying the wrong name there, Sean. Ready, winds and fires. Hopefully, so you listed what? You list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You hope that like 3 of those guys are on at a time, and the pitching staff is decent-ish, to where they don't have to come back from like too much. They give up, I don't know, what, 2, 3 runs a game, but those guys are able to produce 3, 4 runs a game. That is hit hard out into right field. Second baseman didn't have a chance. Just said, not my problem. That is getting to right field. That is a hit. Not worried about it. So the Diamondbacks put a runner on with an out, 2 outs. Jason Bay, 321 average, 6 home runs, 23 RBI, 2 stolen bases. Hey, this is a good opportunity for the Diamondbacks. Got a good looking at bat here. 2 away with a runner on first. The wind and the pitch is in for a strike. That's a good average and a high RBI number. That's what you want to see in these situations. You don't want to see it with 2 outs, but Votto gets on and somebody effective behind him. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is swung on and missed. Oh, and 2. That is outside for a ball. One and 2 is rolled back up the middle. How aggressive is Votto going to be? He's going to hit second hard, as that was a very slow roller. Out, jeez Louise. The slide animations are so bad in this game. It was such a slow roller out to center field, and he was still almost out because the slide animations just crushed the momentum. So now with a runner on third, looking for a lead, Granderson steps up. He swings and misses. Safe. He's safe. Stop throwing over. You're bad at it. Stop it. Stop. Please. 0-1. Pitcher ready. Winds and fires. That is swung on and missed. Oh and 2. The wind and the pitch inside, moves his feet a little bit. Lucky that the ball didn't get away from the catcher. Nice job behind the dish to make sure that didn't potentially result in a run. They don't typically run at home, but they do at least avoid 2 runners in scoring position. Another nice take. That one's low for a ball. Ready, winds and fires, and Granderson puts that into center field. That's going to score a run. Runner from first hits second and heads to third. He is in safe. 1-0 Diamondbacks, looking for a little bit more here with runners on the corners. Nice job by Granderson to get that into center field. Matt Wieters batting .264. 2 home runs, 15 RBI. Wieters takes a ball outside 1-0. And that was a strike. Okay. A little surprising. Thought that was out of the zone, but they will call it a strike. 1-1. 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the first. Wieters and a great swing. Really went for it and gives himself 2 strikes. 1 and 2. Runners on the corners. Here's the pitch from the righty and fouls it away. Nice job to fight that one off. Get a piece of it to stay alive. He went inside again and tagged him. That is going to be a hit by pitch. And there are now, the bases are now loaded. The wind and the pitch is in for a strike. Okay, at least they're cheering correctly. They're saying beat LA, which, okay, I gotcha. The wind and the pitch, and that is a ball. Outside low, doesn't really matter. It missed. 1-1. Ooh, nice. Gets the strike. That sails back over the plate. So bad it's good, maybe? 1 and 2. The righty winds and fires, and that's foul. First base side. And foul, third base side. One and two. 2 away. The wind and the pitch, and it is foul, first base line. Doing everything he can to stay alive with 2 strikes. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Looking to break this thing open in the bottom of the first. The pitch is... Ooh. Bit of a bold take there, especially with how the zone has been called on that side of the plate. Takes for a ball. It's 2-2. And that's outside for a ball. 3-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. Runners in motion. Sliced foul. Pitch looked like it was going to be so bad it was good. It started well outside, it seemed, from our angle, and tried to break back over the plate. They will roll that up the middle. Is he going to be able to get there in time? No, he is out. At least they had to go to first instead of going the short way to second. Stanton, Dummett, and Betterman coming up as the Dodgers will look to respond 1-0. It was kind of a longer bottom of the first inning. Diamondbacks did a nice job. They loaded the bases, thanks in part to the hit by pitch. They get a little 2-out damage and lead 1-0, head to the top half of the second. That is in for a strike. The righty winds and fires, and is outside for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away. And fouled away. Outside for a ball. Nice at bat here for Stanton. Has a 2-2 count that he's working with. The righty winds and fires inside for a ball. Full count. We're looking at some league leaders tonight? Sure. Definitely do that. Here's the wind and the pitch, and swung on and missed. Got that by the bat of Stanton, and that is the first out of the top half of the second for the Dodgers. Ryan Domit stepping up. He's batting .207, 1 home run. That's upstairs for a ball. So a little inconsistency here for the pitcher for the Diamondbacks. Righty winds and fires, and it is swung on and missed. Here comes the 1-1. Looks like the catcher wants it inside. That's where he goes, and it'll be a ball. I think he hit the location that the catcher set up in, but they were looking for the swing and the miss, or maybe a generous call. 2-1. Another patient at bat here for the Diamondbacks, trailing 1-0. Trying to go back outside. They do successfully, but miss the plate yet again. 3-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball, so a nice job by Domit there to pick up the walk. Wilson Betterman batting .421. He leads the NL in hitting, even though we just saw that in earlier today. Or did we see the AL in hitting? I forget. No, it was the first game of the day. Maybe the guy who led, somebody else I thought led the NL in hitting. But maybe they went over, or... Interesting. Anyway. 1-0 as this pitcher continues to have trouble finding the strike zone in a consistent manner. That one's fouled away. Maybe a bit of an aggressive swing there. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is foul. One and two. That is inside for a ball. Two and two. 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the second. Another 3-ball count for the pitcher here in this inning. Walked the first batter. What do we have here? It's a full count. Runner should be in motion. And it's another walk. Okay. Dodgers put 2 on via the walk. Catcher saying like, hey, calm down. Find the zone. See if you can get us out of this. Just can't repeat his mechanics consistently to get strikes. Jason Donald's batting .333, zeros in the other categories. Go anyone but the Dodgers. That is fouled away. Foul ball. Oh, and 1. The righty winds and fires. That one is driven into center field. Runner's going to hit third and go for home. The walks come back to bite him. Runners on the corners. There is nobody out. This is what the Diamondbacks have done. They have had opportunities. They have been in position to get into the playoffs, to be in a playoff spot, and they cannot do it. Oh, there's 1 out. There's 1 out. I apologize. No, there's not. There's 1 out. It's a strike at the knees, 0-1. 90 feet from taking the lead for the Dodgers. The wind and the pitch is low for a ball. The wind and the pitch. That is rolled over. To second for one. To first, not in time. Safe. It is a 2-1 ball game. They have got to throw overhand. The underhand throws ruined so many double plays. And now it's our guy, Juan Pierre, the 3-inning legend. Looking to keep this going. 2 gone for the Dodgers, who scored 2 here in the top of the second. The throw is really bad. The dive's kind of good. I mean, he's safe, but... Hey, would you believe me if I told you this game had some funky animations? This Arizona Diamondbacks defense is falling apart right now. It was a bad throw by the catcher. Plain and simple. Here's the wind of the pitch. It's one of the few times where that actually, like, you see the catcher pat himself on the chest. You're like, yeah, that was on you. Usually it's just the game that fails the steal attempts. So I guess good for them for changing it up. 1-1 to Juan Pierre. It is hit up the middle. The runner's going to hit third and be aggressive going home. The throw from center is late and up the line. 3-1. Pierre picks up an RBI. He is 2 for 2 on the day. And Beltran's going to drive that into left field. Pierre hits third, hits second, heading for third, and he will slide in safely. It's a double for Beltran. This Dodgers lineup has figured this pitcher out, and they are putting some swings on the ball. The 2 walks came back to bite the Diamondbacks in this inning. There are 2 in scoring position. Los Angeles can really open things up here with Ryan Braun. 0 for 1 with a strikeout, batting .281 on the season. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is foul. Third baseline. And that one stays upstairs. The wind and the pitch is outside for a ball. That is hit foul. Two and two. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the second. Dodgers lead now by 2. That's outside for a ball. You cannot possibly walk another batter here. You can't do this. You cannot load the bases. Granted, the Diamondbacks defense couldn't come up with a double play, so... Braun fouls it off to stay alive. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit into center field. That'll drop down for a hit. The 2 runners will score. Pitcher cuts it off so the runner does not advance to second. Huge inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It continues to go. Adam Dunn's 0 for 1. Though he's batting over 300 on the season, 8 home runs, 21 RBI. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. They're lucky that one even stayed in the yard. But are they going to have enough speed? No. That ball got out so quickly. And there was not enough speed on the base paths to score the run. So he ripped that into the right field corner. The long second inning continues as Giancarlo Stanton is back up. Sorry, Michael Stanton, I apologize. Takes that for a strike. 0-1. 2 on, 2 gone. In the top of the second. That is outside for a ball. Not even close. And that is pulled foul. Nice break for the Diamondbacks there. 1-2. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is a ball. 2-2. Oh, blow your Cadillac by. Two and two with 2 outs. Wind and the pitch is swung on and missed. They finally get out of it to get Stanton to chase. A little surprising that he did. 6 hits for the Dodgers. You can throw in a couple of walks. A disastrous inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks defense. It'll be Sanchez, Carroll, and De Jesus. Goodness gracious. Looking to do something, anything. You're going to have to be nice and patient. They gave up 5 runs defensively. You can argue, like, usually the answer is the double play that they couldn't convert because this game loves punishing teams who can't get the double play. The walks were more of the problem. Because they weren't the most competitive ball 4 pitches. That pitch misses for a ball. So a good take there by the Diamondbacks. Do have one more game coming up after this. The Athletics take on the Royals. As that pitch is, that pitch is fouled away. Athletics with an opportunity to firmly establish themselves in the wild card spot. Thanks to the White Sox loss today. That's outside for a ball. And apparently a couple of teams that just don't want to win playing here in Arizona today. 2-2 count. The wind and the pitch. It is hit. Third baseman dives over the top of it. It'll be a leadoff single for the Diamondbacks. So a good start for the Snakes. As Jamie Carroll comes up. He's batting .230. 7 RBI. Doesn't need to be a hero here. Just needs to get on base. I don't even think you can really have... If that double play, though still a 1-1 game. Okay. Oh, boy, that's not what you want. A 1 pitch, 1 swing out. Yikes. David De Jesus. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. I did not realize it would still be a 1-1 game. That's a strike, okay. Bit of a funky swing. Looked like he was super late on it. The righty winds and fires. That is hit well but foul. Oh, and 2 winds. Here's the boy. Did he go? He thought about swinging. Good job to advance by the Diamondbacks there. Put a runner in scoring position. Try to cut into this lead a little bit. Getting all 4 runs here in this inning would be nice, but it's not imperative. That'll be rolled to the first base side. Underhands it to the pitcher, and that is out number 2. Cesar Estruis 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He had to come in for the injured third baseman in the first inning. On what was kind of a weird play, he was playing for the bunt. And the game just kind of rolled the dice and said, "You're injured. Please bring in another player." Here's the wind and the pitch. It is in for a strike. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is fouled away. And fouled away again. Foul. Gonna try and come up with something here with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And ball works. Even the count at 2-2. A runner on third. And that'll be rolled over to the second baseman. He bobbles it. Still gets him. Oh, the Diamondbacks can't even catch a break when they get the break that they need. Oh, boy. Domit Betamit Donald. Coming up for the Dodgers. They lead by 4. 5-1 here as we head to the top of the third. Ryan Domit steps in. That is a brutal break. Wow. I mean, you can't go super far. You can't go that much farther towards second base and bobble it and still come up with the out. The ball gets down and bounces over the wall for an automatic double. So just what the Dodgers need is another runner in scoring position. The Diamondbacks should be switching their pitcher out. One of the smartest things we've seen all season is when the Cubs said, "Yeah, no, we're done." Okay, they switched their pitcher out. That's what you want. Jared Burton comes in. 12 games with a 1-2 record. 2 saves, a 5 ERA, 9 innings, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Wilson Betamit. He had a walk. He came around to score. That is in for a strike. Oh, man. That is such a bad break for the Diamondbacks. To have that guy bobble it, would have scored a run, kept the inning alive. But Estruis just could not get there. Weak grounder hit up the first base line. Stays fair. Nice easy out there. I mean, the first baseman makes a nice play. Maybe it's not a nice easy out, but the first baseman still makes a nice play. Josh Donald's 1 for 1 with a single. And he has an RBI. Whoops. What are we doing? That's outside. Here's the wind and the pitch. Called that a little early. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe we're falling apart just like this Arizona Diamondbacks defense. 2-0. A runner on third. They do have an out, though. That is foul. First baseman couldn't get to it. The runner on third headed back to third. The wind of the pitch, fouled away. Here comes the 2-2. It is rolled third base. That's not the worst. Okay. Usually I complain when they... I mean, I would be complaining if the Dodgers were not up. Why are you sending the runner home? I mean, whatever. Thankfully, it was a play that didn't result in, like, the collision, because I just feel so anticlimactic. Instead, it's just a nice throw. It's a nice play. Cliff Pennington is 0 for 1 with an RBI. He has a stolen base. That is such a big play for the Diamondbacks. It's a bit of a boneheaded play for the Dodgers. Because if you can just take the out at first, you still have a runner on third. Much easier to score from third than first, I know. Yeah, analytics. But there's no reason for you to be trying to push that aggressively. Unless I guess you just absolutely despise the Arizona Diamondbacks. Oh, and 2. 2 gone here. Thought about swinging. No appeal down to third. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that is low for a ball. Two and two with 2 outs. Runner on first. That's inside for a ball. 3 balls. Full count now. I was going to imitate what he said, but you can also just say, you know, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. They put the runner in motion. It's fouled away. The wind and the pitch. Motion. Runner in motion again. I mean, obviously you're going to put him in motion in a full count with 2 gone. Oh, got a walk. Okay. Pennington works a walk to keep the inning alive. That is in for a strike. 0-1. Juan Pierre back up to bat. If he doesn't swing, it looks like he would have walked. 1-1. 2 on, 2 out here at the top of the third. The Dodgers have done such a good job at really extending these at-bats. Neither of the pitchers that the Diamondbacks have used have been able to stay in the zone in a consistent manner to get outs. They keep throwing balls. The Dodgers doing a pretty good job fouling things off. But, man, just feels like every time I look up, the count is in favor of the Dodgers batter. 3-1. Should be able to induce a pretty aggressive swing here. Nope, instead you walk them. So they walk the bases loaded for the 2nd consecutive inning. Carlos Beltran steps up. Oh my God. Beltran, break out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. It's a grand salami. Oh my goodness. The Dodgers 9, the Diamondbacks 1. Turns out that double play doesn't mean anything. You can't keep giving these guys chances. You walk them. You can't turn double plays. They gave up a steal on a horrible throw from the catcher. And the Diamondbacks couldn't even get the break that they needed. They hit the ball right at the guy who bobbled it, and Estruis wasn't fast enough to get to the bag. 9-1 as Braun steps up. I guess at this point all we can ask for is a quick and merciful Arizona Diamondbacks home half to get us out of here. They're not even giving us a quick and efficient at-bat for Ryan Braun. Goodness gracious, man. 2-0. Righty winds and fires. That is in for a strike. That missed for a ball. Okay. So he issued a walk, gave up a grand slam, and now he's going to issue another walk. 3-1. He had Pierre 3-1 and just didn't even fire a competitive pitch. That was inside. The Dodgers with one of the higher scores that we've seen this season. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Tied for 6. Of the scores I've been keeping track of. They put a runner in motion. And he's safe. Okay. Alright. What's today? Not the real date. 21. The in-game date. June 21st. 9. The runner advances to third. What else could possibly go wrong for the Arizona Diamondbacks today? Because it feels like we're running out of options. Foul ball. I mean, just defensively. An outfielder hasn't, dropped a ball yet, so I guess we have that. But of the common things that we see, that'll be lifted. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, shortstop makes the catch. I wasn't exactly sure where that was going. The grand slam opens this bad boy up. It's 9-1. Votto, Bay, and Granderson last chance for the Diamondbacks. Trailing by 8 in the bottom of the third. The few hittable pitches he threw have been hammered this inning. Yeah, they sure have. It's a good way to phrase it. He hasn't been in the strike zone. Then when he's throwing in the strike zone, it's like, oh, goodbye. That's outside for a ball. Still have one more game coming up. Dodgers have had a couple of long half innings. 5 in the second, 4 in the third. Votto with a big swing right there, like he's going to tie the game with an 8-run home run. 1-1. Inside for a ball. That's outside. Three and one. Wind and the pitch. She is in for a strike. A little surprised that Votto, of all guys, didn't swing at that pitch. This game loves swinging at a 3-1. We already saw how hard Votto swung earlier in this at-bat. Full counts. Winds and fires. Okay, Votto works a walk. Comeback starts here. Jason Bay, 1-for-1 with a single. Here's the wind of the pitch. Swung on and missed. Oh and 1. That is low for a ball. One and 1. Low for a ball. 2-1. There is no reason for this Dodgers pitcher to be this cutesy. Like, he needs to be just throwing him in the zone. If he gives up home runs, whatever. You have an 8-run lead. And you're over here trying to paint the edges in the corners like it's like the game's on the line. Throw it in the zone. If you give up a hit, you give up a hit. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is rolled over to the shortstop. He'll fire to second for 1. He bobbled. He dropped it. I guess that's one thing the Diamondbacks defense hasn't done that. Just flat out dropped the transfer. All right. Last time we saw a failed double play, it led to 4 extra runs. It just needs to lead to 9 extra runs for the Diamondbacks. But knowing how this game has gone for Arizona, Granderson is about to hit into a double play. I hope there are no diehard Diamondback fans in there going, come on, man, give us a chance. Two and 0. 1 on, 1 out. Granderson puts this one into left field. Not nearly deep enough, a little too far under it. He doesn't hit into the double play, so egg on my face. Runner retreats to first, and it's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd. Braun makes the catch out there as the fans shake their head. The wind and the pitch is up high. 1-0. That one is hit foul up the first base line. The wind and the pitch, and it is hit past the diving third baseman. And jeez Louise, they get something into the outfield that's only able to advance them 90 feet. Of course, there is no reason to be out number 3 at third base. It was a slow roller, and it did not look like he had much speed, so I guess it kind of makes sense, but also, like, come on. Diamondbacks are down to their final out in a 9-1 game. We're heading to Oakland after this, a little further west. The shortness of those first couple of games really coming in handy for the length of this one, considering how long the top of the second and the third were. That's rolled foul. That is inside. Nice job by the catcher. I believe it's Domit. To make sure that doesn't get back to the backstop. Not like it's really going to matter. It'll just advance the runners to second and third. But still a nice job, and that is how it'll end. Weak contact in foul territory out in number 3. The Dodgers all over the Diamondbacks here. If they had turned that double play, it would have stayed a 1-1 game. Who knows how that would have gone, but the Diamondbacks didn't score anything, and the Dodgers still managed to put 4 more on the board. Obviously, who knows how the rest of that game plays out. If it was a double play, I get it. It's a no-win scenario. But we also watched the Diamondbacks again struggle on the defensive side so badly, giving up bad walks, not able to get the runners, not able to catch the runners stealing, not able to turn double plays with an opportunity to take a firm grasp of a spot in the playoffs. Carlos Beltran 2 for 3 with a home run and a double. He is your player of the game. John Maine gets the win to improve to 6-8. Kelvin Escobar gets the loss. He falls to 3-3. It was Beltran's 4th of the season. There was at least 1 run scored in every single inning. So I guess there's a positive. Beltran 2 for 3, a home run. He scored twice. Obviously, had the grand slam. He broke out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. Let's head to Oakland after we catch up on a couple of scores here. Yankees over the Twins, 4-2. Rangers over the Rays, 3-1. Padres over the Cubs, 9-3. Brewers beat the Nationals 1-0. We watched that game. Royals Athletics is next. Our 4th and final game of the day. We'll catch up on some... we will get you caught up on the scores. We'll advance to the next day. We'll take a look at some leaders in home runs, RBIs, all that good stuff. While the game's loading, be sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying the content while I flip the thumbnail to the correct one. Subscribe if you'd like more. Do this 5 nights a week. 6 p.m. Pacific time is when that posts. Or when I stream, excuse me. Sunday through Wednesday and Friday. Welcome on into Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum. The Athletics are 37-32. The Royals are 39-30. The White Sox loss today gives the Athletics an opportunity to take sole possession of the wild card spot, and it helps out the Royals a little bit. Austin Jackson is the center fielder. Placido Polanco is the third baseman. Mark Teixeira at first. Jeff Frazier in right field. Brian McCann's behind the dish. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop. Josh Willingham in left field. Neil Walker is at second. Alex Gonzalez is your DH, and that is your Kansas City Royals starting lineup. Kansas City can really start to put away the AL Central with some wins here, and they can cause a little chaos in the wild card race as well. Thanks everybody for hanging out on this Sunday night. Appreciate it. R.A. Dickey, 5-8 with a 5.29 ERA. 13 games with 32.1 innings pitched. 38, 9, and 13 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Oh, is it the knuckleballer that we get to see again? Okay, so this could be an interesting one for this Kansas City offense. Righty winds and fires. It is indeed R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer. See how patient this Royals offense can be. Not that patient. Big ol' swing on pitch number 2. Here's the wind and the pitch. And he gets him to roll over it to first base. Steps on the bag, and that is an out. Placido Polanco is batting .286, 5 home runs, 14 RBI. Oh my goodness. Oh, nice grab by the second baseman. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. That came off the bat, and I thought, oof, I could get into the gap. That could be a big at-bat, but no. Teixeira is next, and he'll take a ball outside. Good eye. Looked like it might stay on that edge, but fluttered outside. 1-0. That is outside as well. 2-0. And Teixeira gets one past the first baseman. He will hit first and head for second as that gets out near the right field wall. He's in with a stand-up 2-out double for the Royals. He just stood up. Here's the ball, and it's gone. Jeff Frazier, he's batting .243. No home runs, 8 RBI, 3 stolen bases. See if he can work some 2-out magic here for the Royals. Runner on second. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is low for a ball. Kansas City's so far been, I'd say, decently patient, especially that Teixeira at-bat. The out number 2 for Kansas City was just brutal luck. And pulls that one foul. Felt like he saw it pretty well, but just maybe got a little too excited. As Dickey gets ready, winds and fires. There's the big swing. There's the big impatient swing that you're kind of anticipating when R.A. Dickey is on the mound. It looked really, really good and then fluttered outside. Teixeira was able to avoid it. Can't say the same for this batter. 2-2. 2 outs with a runner on second. No scores. We're just underway in the top of the first. There is a nice patient take there. Would have been ball 4 if he hadn't swung so aggressively at that previous pitch. The strike 2 pitch. And he's able to work a walk. So, hey, the host, why don't you shut your mouth? He did it. He figured it out. She zipped them lips. So 2 on here for Brian McCann. A hit and a walk with 2 outs. What looked like it was going to be a pretty quick inning for Dickey. All of a sudden gets a little bit tighter. Not sure who holds the tiebreaker between the Athletics and the White Sox. It must list it alphabetically. That's in for a strike. Maybe a little generous on that call to make it 2-1. Inside makes it 3-1. Okay. Here it is. I mean, you've been patient enough to get it to a 3-ball count. Can you be patient enough to take? Especially with how aggressive this game likes to be on 3-1. I didn't even get a sense out of my mouth. Come on, game. Oh, he called that early. Foul ball. That ball must not have had much height. 3-2. The wind and the pitch. They put both runners in motion. He's going to hit it right back up the middle. Teixeira's going to score. And it'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs here. Nice job to just wait for that one to come in. People were in motion on the pitch. That's a good take. Chew. Whew. And another good take on the outside. Here comes the 2-0. It is in for a strike. Gets that outside edge. Turning into a long top of the first. That's driven foul. One nothing Kansas City. 2-on, 2 out with a 2-2 count. Dickey winds and fires. That one sailed just inside. Here comes the 3-2. It is fouled. That will be it. That's the end of the top of the first. Kansas City scores 1 on a couple of hits and a walk. We'll be up to Oakland to bounce back or respond here in the bottom half of the first. Jacoby Ellsbury will get things started. He is the center fielder. Vladimir Guerrero out in right. Kevin Youkilis at third. Adam Lind at first. Hideki Matsui in left. Kila Kayahue is the designated hitter. Clinton Barmas is the shortstop. Jose Lopez at second. Brian Schneider is the catcher. Starting for the Kansas City Royals is right-hander Tommy Hunter, 8-4 with a 3.79 ERA, 13 games, 35.2 innings pitched, 42, 8, and 15. The hits, walks, and strikeouts. Kansas City defense looks like this. And we will welcome Jacoby Ellsbury to the plate. See what this Athletics team can do to respond. That one is low and gets by the catcher. Not good. That's what we in the game call a bad start. 1-0. Comes back with a much better pitch, considering that it went into the catcher's glove. 1-1. It's in for a strike. One and 2. Kansas City leads 1-0. And that's a foul ball. Charge! Don't get eliminated! That is low for a ball. Nice at bat here for Ellsbury to lead things off for the Athletics. Especially considering how quickly some of these leadoff at bats can go. Okay. Alright. You didn't have to do that. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? Vladimir Guerrero batting .354. He has a couple of home runs. 15 RBI and a stolen base. I complimented how good his at-bat was, and then he swung a pitch outside that he got off the end of the bat. Terrible contact. Gosh darn. The righty winds and fires. That is outside for a ball. One and oh. That's in for a strike. One and one. Here's the wind and the pitch from the righty. It is rolled foul by Guerrero up the third base line. And that's fouled away. Fair ball. Here comes the 1-2. That's a really bad pitch. Guerrero, I'm sure, did not even think about that. Two and two. And that is lifted into... Oh, he's going to get it past. It's lifted into that left field gap. Guerrero's going to be able to leg out a double, a stand-up double. That'll bring up Kevin Youkilis batting .324. 7 home runs with 24 RBI. Look really good. Number 25 standing on second base potentially. Guerrero kind of needed every bit of that hit going to the wall. Left fielder took kind of a bad path to it. Had to go for that lunge. Missed it and tumbled over. Here's the wind of the pitch. It's a strike at the knees. The wind and the pitch, and it is rolled to the third baseman. Holds the runner at second. Good throw over to first in time for the out. 2 gone. Adam Lind with a .337 average. 8 homers, 31 runs batted in. Whew, big swing there by Lind over the top of it, and it's strike one. That is outside. Swung on again. Lind looking to swing this game in their favor with just one swing of the bat. See if he can settle down with 2 strikes and just try to get the bat on the ball. The 0-2 is lifted into left field, so the left fielder's tumble earlier does not come back to bite them. He makes the grab for out number 3. Kansas City maintains the lead despite the Guerrero double. Willingham, Walker, and Gonzalez, the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Royals here in the top half of the second. Willingham's batting .360 with 5 home runs, 19 RBI. The righty winds and fires, and that misses inside. See if this Kansas City lineup can stay patient. They did a pretty good job with it in that first inning. They did only come away with 1 run, though not entirely their fault or the pitcher's doing. There was a really nice defensive play made, so... That is in for a strike. Two and one. Ooh, that's a big swing. It was probably going to be a strike either way, so I guess go for it. The problem is if you get to it and it gets skied into the air for a bad strike, then uh-oh. Nice take on the next pitch. Makes it 3-2. Payoff pitch upcoming. And that is crushed out toward the left field gap. That's going to hit down and bounce off the wall. The throw in. And it's a double. Neil Walker batting .326. Just the one home run, but does have 11 runs knocked in. I'm jinxed to the Athletics by saying this, so I'll say it again. RBI number 12 could be standing right there on second base. Dickey gets the strike called, 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is rolled in, splits the gap. It'll be a slow roller into left. And because he thought maybe there would be a play made by the third baseman, he darted back before going to third. So that means it'll be runners on the corners. That's inside for a ball. And rolled foul, third base. Third base side. And misses low. Two and one. Runners on the corners. That gets a called strike on the outside. Oh, that's one of the more impatient swings we've seen. Looked like he was pretty late on it. Maybe it's strike three, who knows. Does a good job to stay alive. That one's way inside for a ball. They yet again work a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that is a walk. That will walk. The bases loaded. So maybe that swing is really good after all. I thought it was maybe not the best, but ends up taking a couple of pitches way out of the zone. Ooh, okay. That call right there makes that other swing a thumbs up. That seemed low to me. 0-1, bases loaded. And he will lift this one towards center field. Makes the reaching grab. It'll score the runner from third. 2-0 Royals here in Oakland. Ellsbury makes a nice play out there. Placido Polanco. And Oakland has an opportunity. If Dickey can get a ball on the ground that they can turn for two. That's a nice pitch for a strike. They can get out of this with just the one run scored. 2-0 is obviously not an unattainable number. 8 definitely is, Arizona. Gets a strike on the inside to make it 0-2. That's rolled foul. That pitch looked that swing looked a lot better than the one that I was surprised by earlier. That felt like it was going to be strike three, so a good job to get a piece of it and drive it foul. Stay alive. That looked bad and then looked like it was going to break back over the outside edge, so a couple of good swings to stay alive with 0-2 counts. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is... How? I don't know about that. I don't know how the catcher got that. That looked like it was so wide. Yeah, that catch... The catcher should not have had that ball. That should have gotten past. The runners have to stay where they are after the weak contacts. Teixeira's 1 for 1 with a double and a run, looking to drive in another one. I hope you had a good time. Ooh, Teixeira takes a strike on the outside corner. Think about that. These pitches from, I mean, even from our angle, they just look so good coming in. It's just, oh my gosh. And Teixeira drives that foul. "30 days till MLB The Show." 26 for... Yeah, 26 for deluxe edition, people. That's fouled away. A little surprised to see Teixeira swing at that one. We are getting closer. 2-2, 2 on with 2 outs. Top second. In a 2-0 game, Teixeira belts that into center field. That will score one more run. Kansas City 3, Oakland 0. They will head to the bullpen. They'll bring in a lefty. It'll be Will Omen. It's 20 games with a 3-0 record. 1 save with that 1.37 ERA, 19.2 innings pitched, 4 walks, 13 strikeouts. Jeff Frazier worked a walk in his first plate appearance. We'll be the first to take a look at the lefty here with 2 gone in the top of the second. That's in for a strike. I mean, anything that a bullpen guy does is going to be very different than what R.A. Dickey does. 0-1. And that's lifted out toward the right. Oh, wow, that actually got way out there. That'll score 1 and a second. It'll be a 2-out, 2 RBI double. Now the Royals lead by 5. So they bring in the lefty. Interestingly, I mean, unless that guy was a switch hitter, it's weird when they bring in a lefty to face a righty. And he can't get the job done. Of course, Dickey didn't leave him in a particularly good spot. However, he did give up a hit that allowed the runner all the way from first to score. I'll bring up the lefty. As they continue to search for just one more out to get out of this inning. That is on the inside for a ball. 2-0. That is a strike. Two and one. Inside, backed him off the plate. Very delayed reaction. Here comes the 3-1. It's outside. On the outside edge for a strike. Here comes the 3-2. That is drilled foul. Well, lefty continuing to struggle to get this out. Payoff pitch. Walks the man. Boy, oh boy. Athletics just cannot come up with the out. Alexi Ramirez is 0 for 1. He's batted over 300 at 305. And he'll get an opportunity here with a man in scoring position. They'll take one swing at it. They'll drive that into right field. The runners will just advance 90 feet as they work station to station. The bases are loaded for the Royals. Looking to really put themselves in position to win the AL Central. And kind of just leave it to the Athletics and the White Sox to figure it out amongst themselves. That is in for a strike. Nice. And that's outside for a ball. And that'll be lifted into left field. That might clear the bases. That'll score one. It'll score a second. They will hold the runner at third. 7-0. Kansas City is on fire. They are scoring a mammoth number of outs with 2 out. What? Mammoth number of runs with 2 outs. I can't talk. These last 2 games, thank God those first 2 games were so short. The first 2 games took a little over an hour, maybe like an hour 5, something like that. This last game and not even a half have been like an hour and 30 minutes. The lefty can't get an out. He comes in with like a decent number of innings, a pretty low ERA, but just cannot figure out this Kansas City lineup. Andy rolls over that one foul. One and one. That is... Why didn't the first baseman even try to get that? That's going to score 2 more. What? He didn't even try. He probably had that. Oh my goodness. Kansas City 9-0. Wow. So let's pull this up. Let's see if we can get our answer here. So 1-0. Nobody out. That's hit deep to left center field. That is going, and it is gone! A home run! Oh my goodness. Okay, out number 1, they scored a sacrifice fly. Where's out number 2? Out number 2 was a floater. So you can take 2 away. They have scored 1, so that makes it 9. Yeah, 9 runs with 2 outs here in the top half of the second. It is 11-0. And we saw the Dodgers just score 9. Now we have tied for third the Kansas City Royals, who have scored 11. The shortstop comes up with it. The fire to first of the inning is finally over. 11 runs on just 10 hits. I forgot where we were. We haven't seen Oakland in so long. The 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up. So they have 11 so far. Well, I don't know how to hit buttons on a keyboard very well. So it'll be the Royals. It'll be June 21, 11. And they still have time. They're the away team, and that's been kind of the unfortunate part of this. 10 this inning, yeah. 10 this inning, and then 9 with 2 outs. Was where I was curious. Swung on and missed. It is a little unfortunate when some of these teams score all these runs, and they are the away team. It's like, if you were the home team, then we wouldn't have to watch half an inning of baseball. With the game so well decided. Sui tries to get things started with a bang, but can't do it. Good sound coming off the bat, but drives it foul. 1 and 2. And he does it yet again. Yes. But also, it was what? It was more just, it was just in reference to the game of the fact that we haven't seen this Athletics lineup because the Royals scored so many runs. Kila Kaiahue. He is a Kansas City Royal in the game. Facing his team. And down by double digits. 11-0. Wind in the pitch. That is upstairs for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. It is in for a strike. The wind and the pitch inside for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is. They're going to appeal down to third base. He did not go. I didn't think he did, but you never know. Or, no, you don't never know. Sometimes you don't know in this game. 3-1. And that's foul up the first base line. Payoff pitch. It's the thing that I talk about with Kaiahue every single time. Even though he doesn't have the greatest batting average, every one of his bats that we see is so long. And there's a perfect example. He works the count full. He works a walk. So that's a guaranteed 6 pitches right there. But it's not just that. He's fouling stuff off as well. He's kind of the one batter that we've seen where you could discount that average a little bit. Because he's not getting hits or getting on base. But he's at least putting up a tough out. Tough out, you know? You know? 1-0. Again, we had the same problem with the Dodgers pitcher in the last game. There is no reason for you to be cute as this is driven out toward right field. He has it over the shoulder. I had a little feeling that he might not get there, but makes the reaching grab, and it'll bring up Jose Lopez. I mean, I think you'd rather see a long at-bat from Kaiahue rather than what you just saw. That is drilled, but pulled just foul. Oh, that is brutal. It's rare that we see the foul balls get hit off the screen to the side. It's always sky high. Kurt Russell. For those of you who remember Sky High. 2005, I'm going to guess. Let's see if I'm right. That is rolled up the third baseline. How aggressive are they going to be on the base paths? Not aggressive at all. Sky High. 2005, dead on. Hell yeah. No reason for me to know that, but I do. Mary Elizabeth Winstead in there? Kim Possible creators. Wow. That is fouled away.
That ball's foul.
It's been recognized as a cult film. There. Walk in here. I said Sky High. That is rolled foul. The fans are going home. They should. There's nothing for them here. And that is weakly hit to the first base side. At the edge of the infield dirt. Not a whole lot to talk about there. It's 11-0 Kansas City. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. Yeah, it's a 2005 superhero movie. I think I was maybe a little bit old for it at the time. I don't know. Disney went through a weird stretch between like 2000 and 2008 maybe. That's a diving attempt that's missed. They put out a lot of stuff that I don't think holds up super well. Because they had the Renaissance in the late 80s, early 90s with Little Mermaid through probably, I'd give you Hercules. And then it got kind of weird because then Pixar took over. They were kind of the number one for Disney with Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles. And then Bolt was where Disney kind of brought it back again more towards what people liked about Little Mermaid through Hercules. But even now they're too focused on sequels because they scrub everything of personality and make just the same crap that you've already seen. Yay! Anyway, 2-0. What's your hot take on Disney? Every Marvel movie feels exactly the same. 3-0. Yeah, guess what? Oakland Athletics. The Kansas City Royals don't need more runners on. You can't walk them. Outside The Lion King a few years ago, the only Disney movies I have seen in theaters over the last 10 years have been Marvel. I even forget about the live-action remakes because I haven't... They're making so much money off of crap you've already seen. Taylor Buchholz has 5 games with a 3-0 record, a 1.93 ERA, 1 save with 4.2 innings, or with 4.2 innings pitched, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And the live action stuff is so hit or miss. The remakes of the other movies. Remember this when you were a kid? Like, I'm going to show my kids because I remember what it was like. Nostalgia's a hell of a drug. I promise we're doing okay. We're not falling apart. There's nobody out. Oh, and Mufasa. Is that... Did that come out? I know people really like the Jungle Book that came out. And I enjoyed the Aladdin. But I don't think I've watched it since they came out. Mufasa the Lion King. Oh, it came out in 2024. Yeah. Okay. Barry Jenkins. He hits himself in the head as he gets called for a strike. Whoa. Okay. Maybe not the animation to give the pitcher down 11-0. That is in for... the umpire's done. Oh, that's right. Seth Rogen was one of the characters. Okay. Did it do well? Oh, I guess it did. $723 million at the box office. Baby. %56% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. I'm sure Barry Jenkins could have done a whole lot more if it wasn't a Disney movie. That is crushed. It's a 3-run home run. We have a 14-0 game here in Oakland. To the point where I'm reading Wikipedia articles. My goodness. Did you like Mufasa? Was it worth watching? I got to update the leaderboard, by the way. They are now tied. The Royals are now tied. Whoops. Edit. Redo? No. Crap. Man, whatever. We have June 21-14. Oh, that might... No. Guerrero makes the catch. Both the Pirates and the Royals have now put up 14 runs in a 3-inning game, which is wild. Both of them are the away team, so they have had that extra half inning. Otherwise, I think Kansas City would have had 11. I think Pittsburgh would have topped out with 10 if the stadiums were flipped. Just based purely on the... No way. No way. No way. No way. Okay, it's off the wall. He crashed into the wall for no reason. It's a double. I thought that was going to be a home run. Holy moly. We got to catch up on scores. We're going to look at some leaders around the league. We have things to do, video game. Come on. Come on. Now I have Hakuna Matata stuck in my head. I did go see the Broadway stage production of The Lion King. And boy, does it really point out how thin those movies are plot-wise. The bind and the pitch. That's kind of like the opposite of that home run tracker on social media. Is like that would have been a home run in what stadiums? Maybe not. I don't know. It would not have been a home run in Seattle. I can tell you that because they have the stupid away score, or the scoreboard is in a horrible location back in 2011 at Safeco. Drilled foul.
That ball is foul.
That hit him square in the back? What are we doing, video game? That went through his jersey. Whatever. We can't. Nope. It's a 2-2 count. That's a 3-2. Oh my God. Kansas City does not need more runners on base. Also, that should have been a hit by pitch. We've seen that probably 5 or 6 times. Where it goes through their body, and you're like, why is that not? He blocked him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Put the runner on first regardless. Kansas City can take the lead on the leaderboard. 15 runs is within reach. There's a runner on second. Kansas City doing a bunch, even more 2-out damage. That home run with 2 outs. I wasn't even paying attention. We were talking about Mufasa. Mufasa. That is in for a strike. One and one. Wind and the pitch. He gets the strike called on the inside. Here's the 1-2. It's going to get away. The runners are going to advance to second and third. Great. Excellent. All right. Have a good night. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Oh my God. Don't walk him, please. You cannot possibly do this to us. It is a full count. Here is a payoff pitch. There are 2 outs. It's a good swing. Fight that off and stay alive. Payoff pitch number 2 on the way. 14-0. And that'll be lifted into center field, and that will mercifully do it. It's a monster 3-run home run. Kansas City has more runs than hits. Oakland with just 2 hits. Ellsbury, Guerrero, and Youkilis. Coming up. The best thing that these 3 dudes can do is just ground the first pitch into the dirt and just say, we're going home. That pitch is low for a ball. Swung on and missed. Okay, over to first base. Thank you. You're doing what I need you to do. And out over at first. Easy peasy. Here we go. We're moving on. Guerrero, I know you're 1 for 1 with a double. I know you want to keep those stats going, but we need you to not do that, please. Here's the wind and the pitch, and Guerrero takes a strike. 0-1. That's upstairs for a ball. The wind and the pitch. Fouled up the third baseline. Okay, thank God. Look, Guerrero, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm not rooting against you. I'm just rooting for this game to be over. We need people going like, hey, we gotta go. Kevin Youkilis steps up with 2 outs in a 14-0 game. The Kansas City Royals in a 3-inning baseball game have scored more than the New England Patriots scored in the Super Bowl. Get pooped on, New England. I was going to say, they scored more than New England did in the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. Either game. 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it is hit out toward left field. Please be an out. He makes the grab, and it is finally over. An absolute drubbing. 14 runs put up by the Kansas City Royals, and that follows up an 11-run performance by the Los Angeles Dodgers, except for it was also just 9 runs. So, never mind. With that performance, the Royals tie the Pirates for the highest performance, or the highest runs scored that we have seen. There was one weird game that had double digits recently, maybe in the last couple of weeks. It was like, what? Josh Willingham, 3 for 3. Every one of them was a double, and he knocked in 2. He is your player of the game. Tommy Hunter goes to 9-4 following the win. R.A. Dickey falls to 5-9 with the loss. McCann's 7th, Gonzalez's 2nd. And we are done here in Oakland, finally. But we're not done just yet. We're going to catch up on some scores. We're going to take a look at some league leaders. We might breeze through that. I'll give you the top few in each category. I'm a little worried because every time it shows us like MVP, it's like some dude who has he's batting 1,000 somehow and has 1 RBI. Go ahead and sim to the date. Seattle picks up a win over Cleveland. That's good news for Seattle fans like me. All right. We got those. It was a 1-0 victory for the Angels over the Orioles. 14-0, we saw that one. The Mets beat the Giants 3-1. And the Mariners over the Guardians 2-1. That's a big win for the Mariners. It's a big win and a huge loss for the Athletics, who are now trailing by 3 games in the American League West. Before we jump into the standing, or the stats, let's jump through the standings real quick. We'll cut any team that's basically back more than like 5 games. Yankees, they will win the American League East. The Red Sox are the closest to their game under 500. Though the Red Sox on a W4, they'll be more interesting in a little bit. In the American League Central, the Royals, with a big win today, helped themselves as the White Sox lose. Those are your top 2 contending teams. Mariners lead the American League West by 3 games over the Athletics. In the wild card race, the White Sox and the Athletics. So the White Sox must have the tiebreaker over the Athletics. It's not alphabetical. 37 and 33 for each team. They both lead by 2 games over Cleveland. And the Boston Red Sox sneakily in there. Tigers even kind of interesting, though you don't love it with teams that are under 500. Red Sox have a good opportunity against the White Sox themselves, and the Athletics are facing a tough Royals team, so could open the door for them to maybe make a last-minute push for the wild card. Phillies, they're up big in the National League East, as the Marlins specifically have fallen off a cliff. The Braves have made a real good run at it, but they're on an L4 right now. Could put the nail in the coffin on their hopes and dreams. It's a big lead for the Pirates in the National League Central. Though it is interesting in the National League West, the Rockies up on the Diamondbacks by half a game. Yet again, the Diamondbacks have an opportunity to solidify themselves as a playoff team, and they absolutely fall apart. They fumble it away. They got blown out. And I think, the Rockies have lost 2. They just cannot figure it out. Padres kind of in it at 2.5 back, but doesn't feel like they're a real threat. The Braves are up on the Braves are in the wild card leading position. I don't know why I couldn't say that. They hold the wild card spot. There we go. They lead 39-32 is their record. The Marlins are half game back, 1 win shy. Diamondbacks are a game back. Astros are 3. Padres are 3. Mets are 3.5. And I think that's where we'll go ahead and call it, because the rest of those teams are 5 games or more back and under 500. So could be a fun finish. We'll have to keep an eye on these 6 teams and see if any of them play each other down the stretch. Let's go into some statistics here as we take a look at... no, I want the league leaders. There we go. We can take a look at some statistics here, as we'll give you some of the leaders. Batting average, Bartlett. Okay, he's a good leader. 77 at-bats. That's solid. Bartlett, the one. Willingham and Rayburn, Mauer, and Thames in the American League. In the National League, it's Cano up top at 419. Betterman with a 416 average. Sanchez batting 400. Denard Span is batting 390. And Jorge Posada, your top 5 in the batting average category. Hits, it's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, the American League. He has 47 of them, closely followed by Gutierrez. Teixeira is a couple back, tied with Mauer, and Longoria and Guerrero tied for 5th. In the National League, Shane Victorino is up top. Cano behind him by just a couple. Figgins back by 1 of Cano. Pierre, hey, our guy, Juan Pierre. And Shin Soo Choo round out your top 5. You can see some of the other names there, and you can see the numbers. So, at bats, Kemp has taken an at bat 137 times. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt at number 2 with 136. Jacoby Ellsbury and Austin Jackson have 135, and Gutierrez at 132. In the National League, oh wow, that's a big difference. Any of the top, 7 of the National League players would be first place for the American League. That is wild. Jose Reyes at 153, Shin-Soo Choo behind him by 8. McCutchen right behind him by 3, tied with Figgins. Victorino and Markakis, and even Sizemore would be number 1 if he was just in a different league, and he is 7th in the National League. Doubles is Willingham with 14, Phillips with 13. Jackson and Mauer have 12. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt has 11 of them. And, hold on, National League. Markakis leads there, 15 doubles. Reyes with 13. Cano and Beltran with 11. Victorino, Boron, Batista, Granderson, Figgins, Belliard, Morneau, Martin, Sanchez, Andrew Jones, Howie Kendrick are all tied with 10. That drops you all the way to 16th. Jones needs just one more to be tied for 5th. Wild. Triples, 3 for Jones, Gutierrez, and Mike Morse. Utley, Damon, Kemp, Bourbon, excuse me. Albert Pujols with 2 triples. Corey Hart, Ian Desmond, BJ Upton, Raul Ibanez, Dan Ugla, Ichiro, Raji Davis, Brett Gardner, Alex Gonzalez. Excuse me, they have 1. Gardner rounds out that batch of 2 in the American League. In the National, it's Michael Bourne with 5, tied with Curtis Granderson. McCutchen with 3, as has Pierre Figgins, Victorino Tulowitzki, Hanley Ramirez, John Jaso, and Todd Helton. 2 for Beltran, McLouth, McCullough, Coughlin, Markakis, Terrio, Drew, Sizemore, Rios, Andres, Upton, Toll, Morgan, Cruz. Nelson Cruz with a couple of doubles. Or triples, excuse me. Home runs are led by Josh Hamilton. We saw him today for the Braves. And he leads by a large margin. He leads by 7. Next closest guys are Saltalamacchia, Zimmerman, and Howard with 10. Pena in 5th with 9. And a big logjam, Rodriguez, Canerco, Dunn, Pence, Tulowitzki, Stanton, Reynolds, Upton, Quinton, Cruz, all log jammed at 8 in the National League. Back over in the American League with I guess Fielder, yeah. Gonzalez leads with 13. Fielder has 11. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt with 9, as does Thames and Pujols. Lindworth, Bradley, and Hayward with 8. RBI, Gonzalez leads with 37, followed by Lind with 31. Thames with 29, Worth with 26, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt with 25, and a little 4-player pack with 24. In the National League, Batista leads with 32, tied with Hamilton, who has 32. Billy Butler with 30, Ryan Howard with 28, Saltalamacchia and Jones round out the top 5 with 27 each. Tulowitzki right there. So is Cano, Soriano, Cruz. But I guess there's not that big of a gap between 1 and 11. Runs, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt leads with 29, followed by Cameron Maben with 28. Prince Fielder has 26. Marcus Thames with 25. Upton and Damon with 24 each. Pretty tight race there. National League leader is Josh Hamilton, unsurprisingly, with 29 runs. Nick Markakis with 28, tied with Upton. Cano, Prado with 27. Wright with 26. Rodriguez and Chu with 25 before a little bit of a drop-off. Flip over to stolen bases. Julio Bourbon. He leads with 18 in the American League. 17 for Gardner, 12 for Jacoby Ellsbury, tied with B.J. Upton. Rafael Furcal with 10, and those are your only guys in double digits. We saw Gardner get like 3 of them in one game. National League is Figgins with 21, and then Crawford all the way down to 13. Bourne, Ramirez tied with 12, Pierre and Reyes, the last couple of guys with double digits. Based on balls, Adam Dunn has been walked 23 times. The National League. Hamilton with 19, Helton with 18, Butler with 16, and a bunch of people. Bennett, Wright, Rodriguez, Roberts, Quinton, Sandoval, Holiday, Martin, all with 15. In the American League, it is Jason Worth and Cameron Maben with 21 base on balls. Adrian Gonzalez with 20, Ethier with 19, LaRoche with 17, tied with Fowler. Davis, Escobar, Fielder, Maurer, Bruce, Suzuki, Ramirez, all tied with 15 for 7th. Slug percentage, Gonzalez up there at 766, Willingham with 708, Thames with 705, Lind with 667, and Upton 644. Pretty big drop off between Upton and Bradley. Bradley and Lind also a pretty, actually, and with Thames. And Gonzalez. Okay, there was a lot. The gaps were bigger than I realized. That's on me. Shocking. 122 points difference between Hamilton and his next closest competitor, Carlos Pena. Andres Torres, Seth Smith, and Alfonso Soriano round out your top 5. OPS, Josh Hamilton at 1.250. Follow Betterment, not even close. He's just next on the list. Cano is at a 1.11. Smith, a 1.1. Crazy, no real big names here. No Manny, no A-Rod. Yeah. Jorge Posada, Andres Torres, Freddie Sanchez. And then we'll flip to the American League on Adrian Gonzalez. He tops with a 1.2. I think he's not too far behind. I thought that would be... I thought Hamilton would be way out front, but no. Thames right behind him. Willingham, Bartlett, and Worth to top it off. Joe Mauer's in 10. Longoria. No huge names, though. You are correct. Wins, Weaver has 10 of them. Neiman has 9, tied with Porcello, Cahill, Pavano, Hunter, and Lee. 2 Mariners combining for 18 wins total. Anderson, Arrieta, Figueroa, Oswalt, PV, Laureano, Caminera, Carmona, excuse me, all with 8s. In the National League, Pelfrey leads with wins, 11 of them. Weaver with 10, tied with Dave Bush. 9 for Webb, LeBlanc, Kane, Bedard, and Latos. Norris, Gallardo, DeScherzer, Kuroda, Zambrano, Hansen, Galarraga, Godden, Holiday, Garza, Braden, Hudson, Pettit, Lackey, Sanchez, all locked in with 8. I feel like the wins are hard to come by in some of these games. Losses, hey, we got 3 guys with 0. 4-0, 3-0, 3-0 for Fulciano, Omen, and Heilman. Moda in right with 1. Neiman, Choate, Johnson, Oliver with 2. Who's the worst? Who has the most that this list has? We don't want to insult anybody. A big log jam. Oh, it's a big log jam of 6. No, not King Felix. No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to call you out. Let's flip to the National League. Good chunk of pitchers here. Man, maybe. 22 point. Oh, to qualify as a league leader, a pitcher must have 1 inning pitched per team games played. Oh, okay. All right. Should have read the rest of that. Carrasco, Jubba Chamberlain, Pedro Feliciano, Richard, Shields, and Varas have no losses. Bedard, Burnett, Coffey, Afalt, Zumaya, Reyes, all with 2. What's the lead? What's the highest number here? 6 in the American League. 5. Bunch of guys there. Kuroda has 5. Saves? Hey, go Mariners. Stetter with Choate and Johnson each have 5 saves. Gutierrez with 4. Hendrickson, Wright, Comier, Heilman, and Mujica? He has 3. Acerado, Logan with 2. Not a ton of saves to go around. The game just doesn't work like that. Sampson with 4 in the National League leads the way, followed by Burnett, Reyes, Feliciano, Mahome, Beimel, Sherrill, and Perez with 3. I felt Pinto, Ray, Burton, Snell, Carrasco, Roush, Lewis with 2. Oh, how many have 1? 17. Whew. Okay, 17 through the rest. Fulciano? He leads with a 1.29 ERA. Heilman with a 1.71. Young with a 1.96. Peavy with a 2.21. Buchholz 2.35. Stetter, Mojica, Moda, Anderson, Neiman round out your top 10. Varas with a .52 ERA. 17.1 innings pitched. 0.52 seems a little weird. Feliciano with a .59. He has 15.1 innings pitched. Interesting. Shields, Pelfrey, Chamberlain, Ziegler. I guess I should point out 1.20. Pelfrey with a 1.29. Chamberlain with a 1.66. Ziegler, Zumaya, Meldon, Bush, and Carrasco round out that top 10. Home runs allowed. Francis, not a single one. And he's pitched 14 innings, not terrible. And he's given up a walk, 1.57 walks and hits per innings pitched. Mojica, Johnson, Millwood, Fulcino, and Duke only given up 1. Wells, Moda, Omen, Brian Mastas, Tim Burdick, McGee, Beckett, Wright, Oliver, all given up just 2 home runs. In the National League, Boof Bonser. That is stunning. That might be the most stunning stat that we have. He has a whip of 1.91. He's thrown 35 innings. He's given up 54 hits. Not given up a long ball. Boof Bonser. He's doing it out there. No home runs. Richard and Varas Morrow, Shields, Coffee, Feliciano, Chamberlain, Hernandez, Meldon, Hamill, Zumaya, Reyes, all giving up just one long ball. Shutouts, Peavy leads with 8 in the American League, but trails all over. Arrieta, Wilson, Buchholz, Oswalt, Weaver, Neiman, Porcello, Rodriguez. That is base. Oh, Anderson. Or they all have 6. Excuse me. Anderson, Pavano, Drabeck, Young, Figueroa, Carmona, Cahill, Guthrie, Casimir, Beckett, Pinero, Volquez, Saunders, Heron. All have 5. In the National League, it's Pelfrey with 9. Zambrano, Bush, Galarraga, Gonzalez, Holiday, and Hanson all have 6. Norris, Latos, Weaver, Danks, LeBlanc, Sanchez, Kane, Webb, Lilly, Greinke. Webb, cutoff. They have 5. Santana leads in the strikeout category with 45 in the National League. Verlander just behind him with 43. Pettit with 42. Hudson, Latos, Bush, Johnson all with 40. Cueto with 38. Kuroda and Billingsley with 36. Rounds out your top 10. American League. Let's go. King Felix, baby. King Felix. He leads with 46. Lincecum right behind him, 43. Rodriguez, and they're both playing on, well, the Twins are worse than the White Sox, but they're both playing, they have strikeouts. Rodriguez with 41, Volquez and Masters with 40, Hearn and Sheets with 37, Jimenez and Lewis with 36, Oswalt, Koch, Lee, Scherzer, Laureano, Casimir, all with 35. In the National League, 45 by Irvin Santana, followed closely by Justin Verlander. Pettit with 42, Hudson, Latos, Bush, Johnson. I already did this. Never mind. My bad. I got confused. C.J. Wilson has 13 complete games, followed by Oswalt, and Weaver with 12. Cliff Lee with 11. Cahill, Overture, and Millwood all tied with that as well. Young, Volquez, Pavano, Neiman all have 10. In the National League, it's Latos with 13, tied with Dave Bush. Not even on a team, leading in our random rosters stuff. Weaver, Pelfrey, Webb, all with 12. Kuroda, DeScherzer, Pettit, Norris, Davis, Maine, Sanchez, LeBlanc, all have 11. Innings pitched, DeScherzer with 49.2. Bush right behind with 49. Lopez with 47.2. McDonald 45.1. Santana and Meldon tied with 45. Webb, Pettit, Garcia, Kuroda, Lackey round out that top 10. It's weird to see them tied with like .2s. In the American League, it's Oswalt at the top with 46.1, trailed by 1 out is Chris Young. Martin, couple innings behind at 43.2. Millwood and Sheets both have 43.1. Rodriguez, Beckett, Weaver, Felix Hernandez, Anderson, Luke Hovicher round out that top 10. Walks allowed. Mujica's allowed just 4. Johnson tied with him. McGee with 5. Oman with 6. Oliver and Francis also have 6. And then Heilman, Duke, Henderson, Blount, and Stetter. They all have 7. In the National League, it's Shields, Feliciano, and Affolter with 2, for those top 2. Affolter with 3. Corpus and Kane with 5. Veras, then Richard with 6. Chamberlain and Penny with 7. Burnett, Sherrill, Kofi, Garcia, Ziegler, Lackey, Garcia. Freddie Garcia. Oh, he was a Mariner at one point. And Jamie Garcia. They all have 8 to round out your top 10. Whip, Peavy with an under 1, as does Roy Oswalt, separated by .01. Walk and hit per innings pitched. Fulcino, Neiman, Scherzer, Heelman, Buchholz, Figueroa, Arcado, and Chris Young for your top 10. In the National League, it's Feliciano with a .65. maybe not that impressive. I felt at a .8. Kane with a .9, a .92 for Veras. Shields with a .93, Ziegler with a .97. Chamberlain, the first guy, he's in 7th with the first guy over 1, a 102. Webb, Kuroda, and Melton. Batting average? Is that where we started? Bartlett with a 403. Yeah, I think that rounds us out. Cano with a 419 there. Those are your player stats. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you for the suggestion to check those. Hopefully they were interesting at least. Kind of give us an idea. It is interesting because some of those big names are just not there. With that, we'll do it. Thank you everybody so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed. It was a long one today. The games were long, especially those last two, and then going through the stats is pretty long as well. I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks again so much for hanging out. And I will see you tomorrow. There might be a stream in the morning. I might actually just record a video. It's kind of late, though. I don't know. We'll see. I was really enjoying Cash Cleaner Simulator. But we're also kind of behind on this, and I bought some 360 games the other day. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. I do appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank you so much for watching, whether you're lurking, whether you're chatting, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow for more streaming. Goodbye, everybody.